When I left fundamentalist Christian environments, I noticed how they teach members that leaders feign progress, but the actions and change never happens. I've seen and heard many popes claim that the Catholic Church is very progressive, and yet we still have never seen a female pope, a gay pope, a trans pope. No, it's always a cis heterosexual man, almost always white. And I mean, we do get the first Brazil Pope, the first American Pope, but at the end of the day, it does not matter. It's still a man. If you don't have as many females and people who don't meet gender and orientation expectations, if they're not 50% of the time being appointed, there is no more progress now than there was 500 years ago. In the last 100 years, there has been nothing new elected to any pinnacles of power that did not exist 500 years ago. That's not progress. It's a lie. At least now, in a lot of Protestant circles, many denominations are welcoming non-binary people, people who don't fit either because they can't or they won't fit into narrow-minded expectations that just don't make sense. And the biggest denominations of Christianity haven't changed in 50 years. Sure, they've tweaked things. They finally admitted 130 years later that slavery was wrong. But at the end of the day, the people on YouTube that say they're Baptist fundamentalists, they still say women are inferior. They still say gay people are a unnatural existence. Nothing changes. They don't elect people that are different. The worst nightmare of white cis heterosexual men in religious power is if a black person, a minority, or a woman has authority over them. They have to be in charge because they fear what the minorities would do to them if they ever weren't in charge. And I read something. By 2045, white people will be a minority. Men have always been a minority. If women and gay people, queer people, woke up tomorrow and said, you know what? No patriarchy, no power. We just ignore all of you bigots. They would cease to have any power anymore. The bad people would have no power. They would have money, but if people did not want to associate with misogynistic, sexist, xenophobic pigs, it wouldn't really matter how much money you want or have if people wouldn't touch you with a 5-inch pole. It doesn't matter how much money Weinstein has. Nobody wants to touch him anymore. And the same thing with Diddy. People will not want anything to do with him because he's a liability. If we treated people, regardless of how much they have, as a liability, if they're a danger to anybody that isn't male, they would cease to have bargaining power. Any institution that is monotheistic, ruled and founded by men, and their God is a man or a male presence, they openly and privately hate women. They hate gay people. They want nothing to do with diversity because their actions always prove they want black people back on the plantation. They want women back in the kitchen. And they want gay people in the closet or dead. They don't really care which. They don't want anything that threatens masculinity. And if any man chooses to be anything but masculine, they view it as a threat. So no, the Catholic Church is not progressive. They still will not consistently elect non-white cis men. They will still cover up anything. Same with Baptists. They see everyone that isn't somebody that looks like a Norman Rockwell painting as a threat and as less human. And it's going to take women about 300 years to gain gender equality. I think gay people are going to get more equality faster than women because a lot of the people in the queer community are men. It's easier for men to get equality than women to get equality. It's just the way the world works, unfortunately. And the JW, Mormonism, they were founded and ruled, even in 2026, by cis heterosexual men who view gay people as gross, women as holes, and trans people as gender traitors. Religion wants the Handmaid's Tale. They want to force women to have children, even if the children they have grow up to be predators or any negative stereotype.